Okay, ji. So my screen is visible to everyone, right? Once again,
Yeah.
please confirm. Okay.
बिल्कुल.
Okay, so my screen is visible as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
आप सबको दिख रही है स्क्रीन जो सर ने शेयर की है?
जी मैम दिख रही है.
Okay, perfect. So let's start, you. So basically हमारा जो webinar है, it's all about web development, and this is being hosted by METTLES, and your host is Miss Sana Fatima. So now coming to my introduction. So I am the speaker for this particular webinar. Myself, Sayyid Ahsan Ali. I'm the founder and CEO of METTLES Private Limited, and I have done my graduation from Punjab University College of Information Technology. So in this particular field, I have 6+ years of experience, and I do have the freelancing experience as well. And I have hands-on experience with different languages and frameworks, which is React, Redux, Node, Angular, Next, AWS, JavaScript. So these are all of the things like which I know and which I am hands-on. Now, let me real quick jump into the discussion. So we will divide this particular session in like sections. जिसमें एक जो है in the first section, I'll try to give you the complete details, and then at the end we will be having a question answer sessions. So if anyone would be having any kind of question, you can ask straight away. ये section पे बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा चौड़ा नहीं होएगा. This will be sum up in like 30 to 35 minutes. So be patient, guys. Okay. So now let's formally start it. So today's webinar is web development. Now the question comes to mind is why we are discussing this topic, why we are discussing explicitly web development, and if we are discussing the web development, then how this field works, what is a web developer, and what is a website in fact, and then what are the roles, what is the scope. So if we are discussing something, so there must be something which should be a very productive one. So here the point is we have to conclude all these aspects. So we have to cover up if we are spending our time in this particular webinar. So we should be very sure why we are discussing this topic. And if you are discussing this topic, there should be an outcome from this one. And then we would discuss everything associated with this particular topic. So far, I believe you guys know what we have to discuss. So we have these things here as well. So basic understanding, then we will discuss the market share, and then we will discuss the scope, and then why METTLES is relevant here. And now the first, because we are discussing the web development, the first question which should come to your mind would be, what is a website? So a website is like a couple of pages, bunch of pages, which are sometimes related together, representing some person or some business or some organization. Like so far, you know, various websites. So websites are what websites are? They are just web pages. So a couple of web pages. So these web pages are actually the prospects. So the prospect means something which actually you can show to your potential buyers, potential customers, or your potential audience, so that they can have a thorough insight what you guys are offering. Like you have seen different websites by today. Like you have seen news websites, you have seen blogging websites, you have seen e-commerce websites, you have seen other kind of websites where you used to share the videos, where you used to share the memes as well. So there are plenty of the websites, like the type of websites. So in fact, what website basically do is, normally website is having a certain purpose. The e-commerce platform will normally be selling something. The blogging website will be giving you awareness about some topics. So this is how a website is being divided into like different things. In short, if I again read out the definition, so the series of the web pages bond together by a common domain name. So domain name is something like you have purchased a name online, and that name is serving your website. Imagine you can build your portfolio, and that whole portfolio will be telling to everyone, like, okay, so this person is having this much experience. This person do this thing. Like, imagine you are a lawyer. Instead of spreading the cards to everyone, you have one standalone website, and that website you can just share your name with everyone. Okay, so I am, for example, Faisal Badaich. Just go to my page, and where I have listed down all of my services. So everything is there. Everyone knows how to reach out to you. Everyone knows how you, which particular uh, subject you are expert in. So this kind of things basically has changed the way we look. Like, previously people has this kind of feeling like where they have to like spread the cards and this kind of things, but now the era has been changed. Everything is online. Everyone has a mobile phone, so everyone has access to internet. So that's why all the businesses are coming online. So this is where the website is relevant. So now we have covered one to two aspects. So basically, what is a website? So it's couple of pages, normally serving for one people or an organization, or like any other purpose. So they range from portfolio to e-com as well. Now let's jump on to the next thing. So woofs and woofs of web development. So when we talk about web development, basically a website. So there is a website. The people who build the website are the web developers, and the people, and this process in which the website is being built is called web development. So there are three things which are interconnected, like the website, and then the web developer, and then the web development. So what things are interconnected with the web development? Before going into this subject, we have slightly touched the website, the types of website. Now, in a single website, there are multiple persons or multiple peoples or multiple professions sit together to create a website. Like, there would be website designers who will eventually first give you the design of the website. Okay, so our website should look something like this one. Like, if you talk to anyone, they will tell you, okay, so my website should have this particular layout, so this should look like this one. So this is the first thing. And then comes the second part. In the second part, there comes the other people who actually build the backend logic, who actually build the database design, how the data will be residing there. So they are the backend developers. And then there comes the front-end developers who will actually build the pages, who will actually convert the design to HTML or CSS. And then there comes the web ops or the DevOps. The DevOps developer will actually make this website live. So, and then there are other professionals too, like there must be a content writer, and then there must be a performance team, and then there must be a QA team too. So in web development, in this particular thing, there are various fields which are interconnected. So we have touched different professions which are interconnected to web development. So in order to build a website, we need different roles. We need designer, we need developer, we need front-end developer, back-end developer, content writer, QA, quality assurance, then the DevOps. Now, if we have this much like professions in one particular field, so we have to decide which particular profession we have to pursue. Like, if someone is interested, is very good at like drawing or like the colors, then he should pursue for the designing part of the web development. And if someone is very good at logic building, then he should pursue the backend, because he would be very good at database writing, at writing the queries, at fetching the different sorts of data and building the different analytics. Analytics are like you are like playing around with your data and you're molding it to get a useful information. Like you have like the thousand of the people registered with the Nadra. So with Nadra, if you are registered, then the analytics would be okay. So these are the persons who are holding the money in the Pakistan. So in near future, if your country needs money, so the country will be reaching out to these people. If they have to enforce the compliance to the taxes, they will be reaching out to those people. So these kind of circumstances can be varying. Okay, so I believe let me share a summary again. So we have discussed web development and primarily the website. What is a website? Couple of pages serving a different serving a purpose for one person or organization. Then we have discussed the web development. The persons who are building the website are the web developers, and the persons like the process in which we are building a website is called web development. Now, one question should come to your mind because we are right now discussing the web development. So we should be very sure about if we are like because you guys are here for like exploring one career path or one journey, which is web development. You are trying to explore that, so you must have the feel or the in-depth knowledge, like what this field will eventually be in near future. What is the scope of this particular field? So in this particular thing, I try to talk about the different aspects, the national level, the regional level, and the global level. So imagine once we are talking about the web development, okay, so let me tell you one more thing. The most relevant language or the most famous language which we are right now discussing is the JavaScript. The JavaScript is a language which is very aligned with the web development. Like there are other languages. We have the Python, we have the C#. So they have their own specific purposes. The Python is very best once you're entertaining the big data or once you are entertaining the AI, the artificial intelligence, but it is not very good at when you're building the website. And similarly, the C# is very good for the computational purposes, but not for the websites. So this is every website has their own, like every language has their own pros and cons. So for web development, the best language so far in the market is JavaScript. So we will be discussing the JavaScript. And then if we are talking about the JavaScript, so alone the language is not sufficient. In order, like I can say it this way. Imagine you have raw form of iron. So with the raw form, you can't actually eventually build the solid stuff or the things like you have right now in your day-to-day life. So the raw thing would eventually be not giving you that much advantages. So then there comes some mixes and flavors, which eventually enhances the ability. Like if we talk about the gold, so the gold is eventually being prepared after various operations. Once we run on it, then it comes to its final form. Similarly, once we try to build a website, previously the websites were completely built with JavaScript, but nowadays the era is gone, and now we have more advantages, like the more frameworks coming in. The frameworks are like if someone is sitting if a professional is sitting and he has adopted a pattern, okay, I'll follow this particular methodology and then I'll build a website, and this way the website would be built very quickly, and then it would be more efficient. So that is his opinion. So he can eventually register his thoughts in terms of a framework. So this is how the frameworks uh, come into like come into our vision. So now we have bunch of frameworks. We have React, we have Node, we have like the Redux. These are like libraries and frameworks to don't mix it together. But right now I'm saying it they are frameworks just for the sake of simplicity. We have React, Redux, Angular, Node. We have the other frameworks too, Vue.js, Next.js, Nux.js, Nux.js, Next.js. There are plenty of the frameworks. Everyone has their own specialities. So before going into that specialty, let me come back to this particular topic. Now we have to discuss the scope first before going to technical discussion. So the Bureau of Statistics of the US recently mentioned, like in the web development, there is a scope of like 10 to 15% increase in the job development. So the job market is now growing for the web development salon. 15% rise in the job career for the web developers after the pandemic. And this will not end till 2030. So right now we are sitting in 2022. So for the next 8 years, there is a boom, there is an increase. So that's why that's a very good eventually a stat which actually telling you like for the next 8 years, you guys are very secure. And this field is growing. Why growing? Because you have seen in the pandemic when once everything was closed, people have access to only the websites and the online business has grown too much. So this was a global impact regarding the finances. And let me tell you the other aspects as well. So we have discussed the one thing, which is we have discussed the growth rate. So this particular industry is growing. And then let me tell you the salaries. In terms of salaries, a normal web developer, okay, apologies here before discussing this particular topic because uh, every region has their own expectations and has their own way of rewarding their employees. Like it all depends on company's economy. Like if we are sitting in Pakistan, then a normal web developer will have a different salary here. If someone is sitting in Ukraine or he's sitting in Europe, he'll be having a different salary. And if he's sitting in the Canada or in the US, then the salary will be altogether different. So let me give you a normal number, a general figure, so that you guys have a normal awareness. So a normal developer, a developer who knows how to build the websites, like if a person is having like 3 years of experience, in 3 years of experience in the Pakistan, normally people are earning around $10,000 a year. So $10,000 a year means you would be earning around 20 to 28, like $10,000 means you will be earning like 20 lakh or 24 lakh. So like it's like around 2 lakh a month. So these are the salaries if we discussed about like the scale in Pakistan. If we just go to our neighbors in the India, then the scale rises. Like in India, a normal web developer who is having like 3 years of experience, he would be like earning more than 12,000. If we just go to Europe, there the salaries are like huge, like 40,000, and then goes as per your experience and all that. So now salaries are good, and then I have told you the national trends, like the countries have their own trends. On the base of that, the salaries are being driven. And we have discussed the growth rate as well. And there is one challenging part, which is which need to be discussed, in fact. So a web developer should be very comfortable with the normal trends of the industry, like the upcoming trends of the industry. Right now, like once the JavaScript come into the market, it was only used for like doing little operations with the browser. Like you have the HTML, CSS before. So if you have to do any operation, dynamic operation, then you opted for the JavaScript. So you guys have used the JavaScript to manipulate the DOM to access one field. Then JavaScript slightly enhances his scope. Now then JavaScript goes to in terms of JavaScript, where in terms of JavaScript means it would be a more like a language. Previously, it was only a scripting language. Then the newest variants started coming up with the standard ES6. In that you have everything. You have the variables, classes, maps, like the other concepts like hoisting and other bunch of concepts there. Then every year a new variant is coming up. So as a web developer, if you are pursuing this particular career path, so you should have the ability to keep your knowledge up to date with the latest market trends. Otherwise, you would not be in a very good position. And normally the web developers are like very creative persons because they have to keep up with the latest trend, and also they have to like keep up with their learning as well. For the learning aspect, people tend to use different platforms. Normal people, like normally the trends are, we try to learn online, we try to have the courses, we try to take knowledge from our like seniors or the mentors too. So there are various things which eventually are. So let me summarize this particular thing. So in the web development, once we are scoping down the web development, so right now in the website, in the web development market, there is a huge potential in terms of like job creation. You have a huge potential in terms of salaries. The global trends right now in the market are like, right now the website is on the strongest mode. Like this is the time the website is most strongest. Like previously the website hasn't have that much privileges. If I'm giving you this statement, then I have to give you an example, a clue as well. Previously your browser wasn't have the access to your file system. If you are sitting on the browser, you can't even write to a file or read to a file, which you can normally do with your C# programs or your server side language. Now the browser has the access to your file system too, which is alarming as well, and which is beneficial as well. Now the web has access to your cameras, web has access to your the speaker, web has access to your mobile native things. Like the web has access to your calendar, web has access to your context, web has access to your everything. So now website access or website scope is very much grown up. So now website is like this is the era where the website is more strongest. And also things are getting slightly molded as well, where the people are like more projected to app development as well. So in the app development, there the stories altogether change, where you have to like host your app on the app stores. But yeah, there is growth as well. But now web is competing that market too. Like you, if you have created a website, you can create a responsive website, and that website would behave as an application. So that's an era of hybrid applications too. So there is another figure. So there you can see these are all the jobs in the market which are shown in the red from 2014 onward. These are all the jobs except for web development. They are grown like 7%. Computer jobs, the person who are directly or indirectly linked with the computer industry, has been grown up by 12%. And the web development is being increased by 27%. So that's a huge boost which you are just seeing. Now the most important thing comes in, and we are about to close the conversation too. So I would be summing up, because I have already told you like this would not be eventually a very big session, but we will have the further discussions too. No worries. Now, if you're talking about the web development industry, we discussed about the website. We discussed the process, like that is web development. We talk about the different jobs which are available in the web development market. So now where comes in the METTLES all? Where comes in the course which we guys are offering? So now the thing is, the METTLES all is like bridging its like it's now shaping its career in producing the like best websites across the globe. Right now we have the clients from the Europe, we have the client from US, we have the client from Australia, even the Israel, and then the India as well. So we have different clients from different countries. So all those clients, we are eventually creating the websites. So we have that experience. So we are the ones who are eventually doing this job hands-on. So we are the web developers. Unfortunately, we aren't the ones who will be teaching you the theory. We will eventually teach you the theory because that is very compulsory, but we would shaping your path towards, like once you are done with that course, you are eventually capable of doing something. And let me give you a very good news, like in the outcome of our recent batch, which just finishes a couple of days before, we have offered one of our participant as a internship as well. So now the thing is, why the METTLES Hall? The METTLES Hall is like has the market presence. We are sitting here, we are serving our clients, we know how to make a website, we know how different aspects of web development works, and we covers everything. We touch the databases, the backend side, the front end side, the design side, the development side, And then we also touch the client side, the freelancing side as well. So we are doing this particular thing for like couple of years. So we have that experience too. So if eventually any one of you be if signed to this particular program, so they would be eventually getting like outcomes. So those outcomes would be, some of them would be in terms of your technical capabilities. So your technical capabilities would increase from, like, we would be teaching you different segments. Let me just go to next slide to tell you what would be the steps. Like, we will be telling you the JavaScript, because if you don't know the recipe, you don't have the ingredients, then you can't make something. So first thing which comes in was the language. So you must be familiar with the language. So we will be letting you know every ifs and buts of that language. We will be giving you that course. So we will eventually be aligned. We will try to align you with the latest trends of the market too. And then we would be teaching you the HTML, CSS, so you can write something out, so you can design the pages, you can build the pages. And then at the third level, we would be considering you for two different scopes. Either you are a front-end developer or you are a back-end developer. And on the base of that, we would be training you. So this is how we are proceeding this particular course. And now let me tell you the benefits again. So what we are offering is, first thing I have told you, you guys after the course would be ready for the job. You can go to the market and explore the market. Okay, so we are the ones who can actually deliver something. You don't know only the theory, you also know how to do the things, because we are the developers, so we could be your mentors. Unfortunately, would be a hard statement, but we can't be your teachers, and we can't be the ones who would be teaching you everything. We would be teaching you the relevant things which are the demand of the market, because we are sitting in the market. So one thing is, we would be like leading you towards the job. The second thing is, we are giving the certifications to the ones who will complete the course. And the third thing is, this would be a skill oriented. And then if you are a bright student, we would be eventually giving you a chance to serve our organization, and that organization would be leading towards job. And in our organization, we have a healthy culture where we are doing it. We have a continuous learning program. This is the weekend program which we are offering. And then we have another program where we are like developing our teams too. Each team is having like 2 sessions. And then you have the other perks and benefits, which is a totally different subject. So now we have almost summarized everything. So we started with the purpose of the webinar. So this webinar was all about the web development, why web development is relevant, what professions comes in web development, why we should opt for web development, is this career path is secured or not. And then I have told you, if you go with METTLES, what METTLES will offer you. So I believe I'm done so far. If anyone is having question, you guys can write down in your comment section, and I'll try to answer everyone. If any question left over, I'll try to answer that in Slack channel, in our WhatsApp channel too. So now guys, start writing your questions in the comment section. So I'm looking forward to your questions.
सर ये कोर्स कितने मंथ का होगा?
This course would be like for 1.5 months. You will eventually be having a course content. We would be following that course content, and on the base of that, you get to know, okay, after this particular course, these would be the topics which I would be familiar, or I'll be done. Regarding the fee structure, I believe Sana would be the one who would be the best person to ask these questions. So you can reach out to her, and she would be giving answers to everyone. If you have any technical aspects or questions regarding the web development or this kind of stuff, I'm more than happy to answer those.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम सलाम।
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर हम किसी और डोमेन से हों कंप्यूटर साइंसेस के अलावा, तो अगर हम अपनी फील्ड को चेंज करके इसमें आना चाहें तो तब भी ये हमारे लिए बेनिफिट है?
Okay, so now to answer your question is, actually ये ना आप पे डिपेंड करता है. No one in this like इस टाइम में कोई भी बंदा ऐसा नहीं है जो कि कुछ नया नहीं सीख सकता. आई कैन गिव यू पर्सनल एग्जांपल्स वेयर मेरे पास एक ऐसे बंदे ने भी काम किया जिसने सिर्फ मैट्रिक की हुई थी, उसको बिल्कुल भी पता नहीं था, एबीसी का भी पता नहीं था, एंड ही हैज डन अ वेरी गुड जॉब, and he is in fact doing a very good job, and he is earning more than 60,000 or 50,000 50 to 60,000 bracket. तो ऐसा बंदा भी अगर सीख सकता है तो आई बिलीव आप भी सीख सकते हैं, बट इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन यू, इट डजंट डिपेंड ऑन अदर पर्सन्स, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन यू कि आपकी कितनी स्पीड है, आप कितना डेडिकेटेड है, आप कितने पैशन से आते हैं। तो ये प्राइमरीली एक सब्जेक्टिव काम है जो कि आप पे डिपेंड करता है। अगर आप अच्छे तरीके से एक चीज को कर लेंगे और इस पे मेहनत लगाएंगे, मेरे ख्याल में ये 3 मंथ की जर्नी है। ओके, सो वी हैव अनदर क्वेश्चन कि किस लेवल तक की जेएस आएगी। सो आई एम डूइंग जेएस फॉर 7 years, मुझे अभी तक जेएस सारी नहीं आई। सो जेएस कभी भी खत्म ना होने वाली चीज है, मतलब इट्स अ लैंग्वेज, इसको आप कभी भी आप ऐसा नहीं कह सकते मुझे सारी जेएस आ गई है। तो आपको पूरी नहीं आएगी, बट आपको इतनी आ जाएगी, या आप अगर मेरे जैसे बंदे के सामने बैठ के अगर आप बात करेंगे तो आप कंफर्टेबल होंगे। बिकॉज मैं अभी तक मेरे ख्याल में हर रोज मेरा काम होता है जॉब एक्विजिशन, क्योंकि मैं सेल्स डिपार्टमेंट से ज्यादा लिंक्ड होता हूँ, जिसमें मैं क्लाइंट के इंटरव्यूज ले रहा होता हूँ, मतलब मैं क्लाइंट के साथ टेक्निकल डिस्कशन में जा रहा होता हूँ। सो आई एम द वन हु हैज इवेंचुअली गिवन 200+ इंटरव्यूज एज ऑफ नाउ। सो आप अंदाजा कर सकते हैं कि जिस किस्म के क्वेश्चंस क्लाइंट करता है, I will try to eventually tell you those questions and try to give you that domain कि आप इस तरह की चीज करें तो वो relevant होएगी। That's why in the start I have told you कि हम आपके जो है ना वो मेंटर हो सकते हैं, टीचर होना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, क्योंकि टीचर का रोल बहुत बड़ा होता है।
सर काइंडली ये बता देंगे, लेट्स सपोज आपको एक क्लाइंट बोलता है कि मुझे वेबसाइट बना के दो, डेवलप करके दो, तो वो क्लाइंट आपको क्या चीज़ देगा जिसमें आप डेवलपमेंट करके दोगे? लेट्स सपोज वो आपको एफटीपी देगा। एफटीपी क्या चीज़ होती है? या डोमेन होस्टिंग देगा वेब डेवलपमेंट के बारे में? मुझे काइंडली इसके बारे में ब्रीफ कर दें थोड़ा सा।
अच्छा गाइस, अभी टाइम जो है ना हमारा खत्म हो रहा है, इसको मैं इस क्वेश्चन को क्विकली सम अप कर देता हूँ। तो इसके बाद जिस किसी भी क्वेश्चन होंगे, काइंडली आस्क इन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, आई विल बी आंसरिंग दोस क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि अभी ये सेशन कंक्लूड हो जाएगा, तो आई डोंट वांट कि ये अचानक से खत्म हो जाए। एक सरसरी से आंसर करता हूँ, बट इसका मैं आंसर व्हाट्सएप पे भी पोस्ट करता हूँ। क्लाइंट जब भी आपके पास आएगा, ही विल बी गिविंग यू अ प्रोजेक्ट रिक्वायरमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट। तो वो जो आपके पास प्रोजेक्ट रिक्वायरमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट होएगा, उसमें डिफरेंट चीजें होती है, उसमें आपके पास स्टोरी पॉइंट्स होते हैं, उसमें आपके पास टास्क होते हैं, और आपको वो एक सर्टेन पैराग्राफ देता है, उस पैराग्राफ के बेस पे स्टोरी पॉइंट्स बना के आप उसमें से आंसर करते हो। फिर उसके बाद आपके पास आप डेटाबेस डिजाइन बनाते हो, फिर बाकी चीजें बनाते हो। उसके बाद फिर आपके पास वो क्या होता है कि आपको वो अपनी डोमेन भी प्रोवाइड करता है, आपको वो प्रोवाइड करता है कि मेरी होस्टिंग क्या आएगी, वो भी प्रोवाइड करता है। जब आप फिनिश कर लेते हो तब आपने डिप्लॉय करना होता है। देन उसके बाद और बड़ी चीजें आ जाती हैं कि आपने फॉर एग्जाम्पल